Hello, welcome back to another video diary. Just let's get this out of the way. Don't mind my pimple and my daily jacket. It's pretty dirty, but other than those two, I would like to express myself in a way that I understand myself. I know I question myself a lot. I call that understanding know thyself a lot, and I repeat my words a lot. I understand who I am. I just like to understand myself a lot more and in depth a lot more. And I don't see myself being influential in a way. I just more so want to speak my experiences and my mind to the camera and see where this goes. But as I am now, I like to understand that I'm my mind, I am my body, and I am my soul. I am my life. And I use the term truth, sustain, life. What else do I use? Just and understand. I use those words a lot. So, truth, sustain, life, and something else. But those were and understanding and understand. Those words I use a lot. And, well, I repeat a lot. It's because I use it to help me understand what I'm saying. So there goes the first word again. There goes a repetitive word. But I don't know how to portray my words in a way that makes myself an understanding towards someone else. It's just that I have a small vocabulary and I'm not very intelligent to words. I I am intelligent to words. I look at the depth and meaning towards the word and read between the line of the word. Just help me understand it in depth to an in-depth understanding. And it's pretty much me understanding my own truth, like the truth of my life. I'm pretty much choosing these words because I don't know how to understand my life in a different way. Well, I do. I just don't know how to portray the experiences I've been through. Like, I go through mind's experiences, hallucinations, but I don't see my hallucinations. I more so see vivid understandings or vivid visions of my past. And I sometimes see visions of entertainment I've watched or patterns of behaviors I've seen are being played out. It's like the intelligence of life. In my head, I'm trying to understand that question of life, the intelligence, the patterns of behaviors of life. And I'm trying to understand that within me. And it's more so helped me understand how do I portray myself and what terminology should I use to help express an understanding of who I am or help people understand who I am. I'm more so not putting myself out there, but I'm also trying to connect with people in a depth in some depth of a way into the meaning of their life, into the thinking of their life, into the thoughts they have, into what they think about, how they think about things, and when they're bored, what do they do when they're bored? Do they pay attention to that boring understanding of who they are? Because I like that aspect. If you go within, so when you're bored, and you go within, think to yourself. I like those type of people that think to themselves, understand who they are when they're bored or when they got nothing to do. That's what I like to understand. because it more so expresses or dives into the understanding of mind or who you are. And I like knowing how people are. I don't know why I want to know how people are. It's not good that you want to know how people are, because then you could turn on them one moment, and you don't really want that. You got to find people to really trust, to open up to. And I'm also one of those people. But people like to strive for success, to get out of that thinking that they've been put into, or that they put themselves into. And I put myself into a mindset of doubt. Well, it started off with doubt. I was doubting myself because of who I was and who I am. And I'm still doubting myself because of who I am, because of the choices I make. I make bad choices. They don't help me grow my life. They're not bad. I'm still living. I still enjoy my life. Every day is a good day. And they are bad choices if you're trying to help yourself grow into a successful, healthy, and wealthy, abundant life. But me, I suck at life. I talk to myself, go deep within, question my depth, understand who I am, instead of understanding the world. But I feel like the intelligence I get is my own intelligence from the experiences I've seen, from what I want myself to portray who I am as. And I am my life. That's all I can say. I am my life. I've dealt to my truths, not all of them. I haven't dealt to them properly, but I'm aware that my truths do come up, but there's an energy to it, but I don't know why. It's like, is somebody thinking of it? And who is it? Because I'm not that aware of that thought. And that thought is coming up. Who is it? Nobody knows my secrets. But it's the way you think and how you think about it and why it's there. It's not there because you're thinking about it, but something is making yourself aware of it. What is it, that awareness? And it's not the awareness of that truth. It could be somebody that knows that truth. But it's an understanding of how do they know that truth and how are you aware of it? And it's why are they aware of that truth? You are aware of a truth because, like an atom passes on information to another atom somewhere else in two separate places, two different atoms, but they are the same, but they are atoms. Because all atoms can talk to each other, but I think they have to go through a passage. No, I think they're all open to each other, to speak to each other, but they give themselves that understanding to be themselves, to know thyself. And what they're accepting to thyself is an understanding of I am. I am your own life, my life. Everything is its own life. I am my own life. You have to signify your truth, the I am of your life. But we're getting into the depth of know thyself. I'm more of an understanding of know thyself, like learning yourself deeply. It leads you to question yourself, but I don't know how to turn it into a terminology that's clinical or orthodox, an orthodox point of view. An orthodox medicine point of view. I don't know how to give it off from an orthodox medical point of view. And that's how we would like to give it off as. But I don't know that terminology. I only know my own life's terminology, and what I do to myself, and what I do to myself, and how I do things to myself. How I feel to the understanding, it plays into the depth of what it means to you. A lot of things play into an effect of who you are. It's that awareness that's affected every day. And it's traumatized by its understanding to remember that truth. But the more you make your awareness subtle of a truth, the more you're invisible to an understanding of knowing thyself. But I'm understanding it to know something else, not yourself. But within your understanding of awareness to yourself, you're only aware of yourself, not of other things. But of other things, being aware of other things, you're remaining present, but also being mindful. You're being mindful of everything. But you want to try and maintain a mindfulness of the present of everything. A mindfulness of the present of everything. As you step into an understanding of your know thyself and I am. I forgot what I was talking about. Damn. I'm so shit at talking about life. I don't know how to say things. I don't script myself. I'm more so going off the top of my head because I'm understanding my own self. And when I know my own self, I'm knowing everything about myself from a perspective of higher standards. I'm seeing myself from a perspective of higher standards and looking at myself and seeing what it's doing to himself. Well, from a higher perspective standard, I'm playing with the lower self into its understanding of what it means to itself. But I'm lifting that low vibrational self up to an understanding of what it means to be in a high vibrational frequency. And I'm not to live in a high vibrational frequency. I state to myself that I'm a low vibrational being because I neglect the understanding of responsibilities. And to understand that you have to fulfill an understanding of responsibility to life, it means it's an understanding of survival. And if you're helping others survive, you're pretty much giving yourself service to somebody else. But if you see yourself working on yourself, you're giving service to who you are. But if you're working on yourself in service to something else, you're neglecting a part of you. But you're working towards a collective understanding of what it means to work easily in a survival way with the convenient life we have now. It sustains our survival needs. But to see it in a perspective of service to self or others, it means to understand what it is to be the perspective of yourself to yourself or others. But what does it mean to be yourself? Nobody questions themselves to that understanding. Nobody likes to go to the depth of who they are. I'm more of an intrapersonal communication person. I do inner speech. I talk to myself within. I talk about my thoughts, my feelings, who I am, my beliefs, my experiences, my traumas, my thoughts, my thinking, everything. I talk to myself about what I am paying attention to and how I feel about it, what I'm paying attention to, what I'm talking to, or what I'm responding or reacting in response to said thought, feeling, belief, experience, whatever it may be, truth, life. But I talk to that understanding about know thyself. That's an understanding of know thyself. It doesn't get you far, but it's an understanding of what it means to you to understand those words to yourself, and an understanding of seeing a depth and an not elaborative understanding. Why would you want an elaborative understanding to carry on? It's because your life carries on. And when you're responding to yourself in the future about something in the past, or something about you makes you remember something in the past about said experience, making you be a response to yourself in some said experience of self. I don't know what I'm talking about. Forgotten. But it's to help you understand what you are to yourself and how you've understood that problem to yourself in the present of who you are and what it means to you. You don't really do the in-depth understanding of what it is. But if you do that understanding, you help yourself understand, whoa, that's what I did to myself? You would be amazed what you would do to yourself, but nobody does that work to themselves. They'd rather let it happen obliviously. Well, it happens spontaneously out of nowhere. It's a mystery. But we call that God. We call that God's work. We say, well, what is that blessing? Did I help myself? Did I achieve a goal? Why am I remembering myself in some way? But it feels, I don't know, not uneasy, but like a success or an achieving aspect of who I am. Did I achieve a question I asked in the past and it's been answered now? Maybe. Maybe. Maybe that's why you're starting to remember or understand who you are, because you're responding to your questions of the past. No matter how many times you asked questions and you never answered them. I still ask questions and I never answer my own questions, because it's they're complicated answers. They're complicated answers to figure out. They need more evidence. They need more experience of life to understand how you feel to the question of what you asked. And in that response to the experience that's happening in the present, and as it's going to the future, in the presence of the future of its understanding, you've built the response enough to be the answer. And it's not an answer enough, it's more so led you to question its understanding again. Because you're understanding that your perspective is to live. It's not to survive, it's not to be there for yourself, it's just to live. Because everybody's living. And what does everybody do to live? They do work, they do activities, they do things, they sustain themselves to survive life or another day. They do things to survive another day. Even if it's sitting down and watching TV and binging all day, it's still giving yourself something to see and understand and do. And what you're doing in the aspect of sitting there and watching something all day, you're also taking perspectives from life and putting them into your own perspective to see how your life is. It's a relay of information to you to help you be the feedback. You're the feedback in the response to what the information is. But in the understanding of what you are to the information, you're sustaining yourself to be the change. But you're not the change, you're the experience. In the understanding of what the experience is, it's just a small suggestion of feelings, but in the understanding of how you felt is what the experience is. It doesn't mean it has to be grand. It really doesn't. You're just built an understanding of who you are. But this is leading into the aspect of mind and know thyself, and mind, body, and soul. But it's more so the aspect of mind, because mind is the comprehension of body, and body is the essence of soul. To understand it in that way, I've worked myself backwards. and started with mind and trying to get to body. I've understood a little bit about body. More so, my body is centered in it's focused in the torso area. The body is the chest, torso area, stomach, chest. That's where I focus most of my body to, because the others are just limbs and the head. But body is the understanding of organs, and the understanding of organs is your own intelligence. It's a mind too, because your body has its own mind. And for you to understand body's consciousness, and not consciousness, because you are body's consciousness, but if you are feeling a response from yourself in the understanding of mind or body, so is the aspect of the voice. I don't know if so is the aspect of the voice, but I'm seeing myself to understand these are the intricate levels that I understand myself to. And I'm trying to articulate its understanding for me to be an approachable understanding of life. Because I've more so ingrained myself to understand and know thyself of my own life. And I've dug too much in to my own truth and sustained new approaches to my own understanding of who I am. And it's sustaining me to approach myself in a good manner to new experiences, or think of new experiences that I want to be in, and what I don't know how I want to be in them, but I want to be more so a formidable understanding of an intelligent man. But that's my understanding of my mind and my aspects of expectations of who I am to myself. But yeah, I talk too much about mind, body, and soul, and know thyself. And I need to go for a toilet. Give me a second. But a know thyself is an understanding of an experience of who you are to yourself. An understanding of an experience of who you are to yourself. So that's what an understanding of know thyself is. It's a more so in-depth understanding of who you are to yourself, your experiences, your feelings, your thoughts, your past, your memories, your traumas, your good your good past, your bad past, your sad past, your normal past, your normal feelings, everything, normal understandings, and other miscellaneous feelings of experiences that you've had within your life that you overlook, but they're an understanding to an approach of who you are from your question to your present, or to the future of your present. The present is the future. And the present is also the past. Past, present, and future all exist as one. That's a me, myself, and I that you have to understand as well. But I haven't understood that me, myself, and I. That's an understanding of essence. That's not time. That's essence. What essence are you paying attention to in a flow of self to past, present, and future? It may be time, but don't see it as time. See it as information. Because if you see it as time, you stop yourself from understanding what it means to you. And you express yourself too godly and say, I see the future. I have premonitions. No, it's not like that. Nobody has those understandings, but an overthought of who they are. It's a script within themselves to make themselves feel their understanding. whether it be a feeling, a thought. There is only thoughts, feelings. Awareness senses their thoughts and feelings. Their feelings is the understanding of awareness and senses. But awareness is paying attention to the thought. It's an understanding of thought. It's a contradicting state of belief, but awareness is awareness. Let your awareness be that self, but don't understand yourself like that. I see myself in a contradicting state, but that's because I always contradict myself. And it's not good to contradict yourself because there's no stable grounding of who you are. There's no stable foundation. But what the foundation of your truth is all beliefs sustaining your grounding truth, sustaining your foundation. But it's how you comprehend its complexity to be your foundation. And that's an awesome foundation. Having the comprehension of all life's understanding as your foundation, it's already been done. But for you to understand it, you do the work to understand it. But you make the understanding aware of itself as you work the truth, as you do a work of know thyself, inner work, shadow work, meditation, the work of I am, the work of know thyself, the work of oneness, the work of religion. It's the understanding of knowing yourself, two perspectives, how you feel to it, knowing another perspective, how they conspire to understand each other, and what else conspires to understand its truth, and how people in those areas of truth conspire to understand the knowing of its truth to themselves. But what you see in it to understand about them. But it's not to separate yourself, it's to find a connecting source. It's not to judge. You are judging. It's not bad to judge, but it is an understanding that we all do. So do it. Judge. But do it with good sound mind. Good sound mind. Judge with good sound mind, please. That would be very, very thankful and nice. Thank you and nice. Thankful. It would be thankful. But to understand an understanding of know thyself like that, I forgot what I was saying, because you have to remain thankful of other people's knowing of the truth. But I forgot what I was talking about. I truthfully did. But I'm going to give up then because I'm talking too much. And I'm giving myself up to an understanding of I don't have too much time to speak. I've done 28 minutes out of 38 minutes. So I got another 10 minutes before the video cuts out and I've run out of storage on my phone. But I should cut myself off here and let that infest you. And it's just, this is an understanding of my own work to myself. It's not to understand who you are. It's not to say it's you. It's just how I understand who I am and what I've done to myself to express myself that way. And I'm sorry I am that way. And I give my apologies if I made you second guess yourself or made you think in a different way. But it's not to make you think ill of yourself. It's to help you express yourself to an understanding of what the experiences you are experiencing to. Doesn't mean that they are bad. It's you have to speak to it in a way. You have to understand what you're speaking to. If you know what it is, then try and comfort an understanding of it, so that when it comes up again, it's only a comforting feeling. And when you say that, you say, I'm so sorry, or you say, well, you'll know what that feeling is, because the feeling will make you remember who it is. And once you signify that feeling to the remembrance of the thought or the memory or the trauma or the likeness or the understanding of what you conglomerated your understanding to answer your truth to, the line of truth you found yourself to understand, you created that. Just know that. But everything else that comes is what is of that answer. It's what's leading you to the next thing. And that's why you lose yourself. Because there's too many things in the background going on. That's your subconscious. You can't be conscious of that work. That's mind's work within body. The comprehension of your intelligence working its truth. You'll be aware of it once you know yourself. But once you know yourself, you understand your aspects of your own truth. But that's your pattern and behavior and truth. It's not everyone else's. But if you see the significance of it to be formidable to you, oh, love it, dude. I see my own self to be, I'm not perfect. I know I'm not. I did bad things in my past, and I'm not happy of that. And whatever, we'll get over that. But embrace it. It was work from you that sustained some good aspect of a thought. Even if it was a small goodness, it's good enough to keep going. One goodness a day is enough to carry on. But if you want to carry on that goodness, then you would dive into it more. You would do another Know Thyself course. The understanding of a Know Thyself helps you interpret yourself to different understandings of who you are. Experiences in your past may come back up again. You talk to that experience. You know that experience's perspective. You talk to an understanding of its perspective in a different avenue, from different perspectives. Follow it. See what it leads to. It's endless what you can create. It's a creation of what you understand your mind to. But that's an understanding of Know Thyself. The steps you lay out for yourself is how you understand what you're leading yourself to be. But you're understanding yourself too much to an openness of everything. It's not the quantum field you're opening yourself up to. It's the exploration of self, the freedom of your empty vessel to add things to yourself that make you feel authentic. It's not to accept every experience you created, but it's to harness the feeling and the experience of its truth into a compacted one-word truth. Not a one-word truth, but a feeling, a word, and experience. Put meaning, depth, life into that word. And remember that experience from which created the understanding of the word to be as. And leave that word as a signifying truth. It'll be a remembrance of truth to you. But I must leave because there's 33 minutes and there's another 5 minutes to go, I think, before it's 38. So, sorry for talking this long. Sorry that I didn't give you the time to stop and understand. And yeah, bye. And I love you, Chan. You are doing good work just to know thyself, but your know thyself is contradicting, okay, Chan? It doesn't help anyone but yourself, because only you understand what you're going through and what you're explaining to yourself. I love you, Chan, but I gotta go. Bye. I love you.